All right, so we got the extra practice problems for population density. So first thing we want to be aware of is that formula, right? Density is population divided by the area. Every single time we're always going to go back to that formula anytime we've got these population density problems. So again, we've got it written down right here. Density is the population over the area. Okay, so we're going to write that down. So our population, that 3.5 million, right? We're substituting that in for P. And then down here on the bottom, our area was 500,000 square kilometers. So we're going to substitute that in for the A. So we're using this formula right here, make our substitutions for the population and the area, and then do the division, right? 3.5 million divided by 500,000. You can use a calculator if you need to. If you don't, great. Either way is totally okay. And then that's going to give you an answer of 7. So 7 people per kilometer. Now, you might be thinking that answer sounds really low. LA is a lot more dense than that. The reason for that is because for whatever reason, they gave you a really large number here. The area of Los Angeles is a lot smaller than that. I know it's about 500 square miles. And you can convert that to kilometers if you want. But that's why the answer seems very small. It's because it is. Because in real life, LA is a lot smaller than that. Okay. Next problem. So this time, let's see, they gave us the area and they gave us the density. So they're actually giving us different information this time. So again, always go back to that formula. Density equals population over area. But this time, we know the density, we know the area, and we're solving for population, right? So we can substitute the density. The density is 300 people per kilometer, or per square kilometer. The population, we're not going to substitute anything in there, right? Because that's what we are trying to solve for. What is the population? So we don't know that yet. So that P is still going to be there. That's what we need to isolate. And then down here, that A, we can put something in for the area, right? Because we know what the area is. 205,000 square kilometers. All right, so now we're one step away from solving for P, right? Right now, that P is being divided by 205,000. So to get the P by itself, we need to do the opposite of dividing by 205,000, and that's going to be multiplying by that. Right? Opposite of dividing is multiplying. So we will multiply both sides by 205,000. 205,000 divided by 205,000, that makes a 1, so we can cancel it out there. And then, for your final answer, you got 205,000 times 300, and that's going to give you 61,500,000 people. And the population of Chicago is a lot smaller than that. Again, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, the problems that they gave you, right now I'm just using the standard math department problems. When I come back, I'm going to create some of my own that maybe have a little more realistic numbers. But as I'm going through these, I am noticing these sizes are way bigger than the actual size of the city. The city, Chicago, is not 205,000 square kilometers. Anyways, so yes, if you get some of your answers and it seems like they're way too big, that doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that the setup of these problems is unrealistic. When I come back and I'm giving you problems to work through on your own, I'm going to be making my own problems, and they're going to give more realistic answers. But for now, just bear with us, use the formula. And the main idea here is just understanding that density formula. All right. About 430,000 people live in a 5-mile radius of a city's town hall. So find the density in people per square mile. All right. So again, population density, go back to that formula. So density equals population over area. Okay. So it wants us to find the density, right? So we can't substitute anything in for D because that's what we need to find. We're solving for that D. So what we can do is substitute something for P and something for A. All right. Well, P is straightforward, right? It tells us how many people live in that area. So we can make our substitution. We got 430,000 in place of P. But the area, okay, this is where we need that formula for the area of a circle, right? This might be one that's going to go up on the wall before the test. I'm going to put some of these area formulas up there before we have tests on this stuff. But we're given it's got a 5-mile radius and it's like a circular region, right? And then they got a 5-mile radius. So area for a circle, it's pi times the radius squared. Pi times the radius squared. And if you want to do that in your calculators, pi times the radius squared, and again, the radius is 5, so that's going to be pi times 5 squared. You can go ahead, punch that into your calculator, and you should get about 78.54. About 78.54. All right, and we can divide that number down here, right? Because remember what we're doing is we're substituting that in for the area, right? Because we needed that formula for area of a circle so we could figure out the area of the region to use that in the density formula, right? So we got the area of the region, we plugged it into the density formula. And now all we have to do is just divide this in our calculator, right? Because we've got the population, we've got the area. All we got to do at this point is make that division. Sorry, my cousin's yelling in the other room. Make that division step and you will have the answer. So 430,000 divided by 78.54. And that's going to give you an answer of, and again, don't forget, round to the nearest person. So it's about 5,475 people per mile squared, or per square mile, however you prefer to say it. This is like the shorthand, the shortcut way of writing it. And there you go. There's your answer. As always, please email me, please text me if you have any questions.